Hello and welcome back to the NHL Best Bets. Yesterday there were a lot of very tight games, and let's go first through the picks that we had for the games. Boston visited New York Islanders in Long Island, tight game, and then in shootout Islanders took a victory there. Good plus odds for the home team and good pick for us. And then Florida against Columbus. Even though Columbus goalie Joonas Korpisalo made a few extra curriculum saves, it wasn't enough. Florida was a much better team here. 4-2 end result in Columbus. Tommy, no complaints this time.
No complaints, like the green color there. Pretty much as expected, both games. New York Islanders played a very grinding game against Boston, kept it very low scoring as they need to in order to win these games, and then in the shootout managed to get the 2 points. So a coin flip of a game, but nice value for Islanders, who we thought that was a little bit had a little advantage in this game, and in real life. So a good pick, that one. And then a lot better team, Florida beat Columbus as expected with nice value as well. It was not a clear game by any means, but like you said, I think Columbus goaltender had a little bit more work than his counterpart in the Panthers net. So even if Columbus did shoot more, but the grade A chances went to Florida quite easily. So a good pick again, a good win for Florida on the road against a team that is usually defensively pretty good. Now maybe not so much. So Columbus still in a lot of trouble, and Florida is looking good that they can turn these games as well to their advantage and win these sort of games that are not only based on the offensive prowess of the team.
Yeah. Good wins and good picks for us. There were altogether 5 games that ended tie after the regulation. Your experiment with tie bets is going pretty smooth, I bet.
Yeah, there is some 60% of return already, so 160 return of investment from a couple of last days. So yes, for now it's going well. Too bad the stakes are very low because it's a risky business, but I will keep following how it goes. So at this moment there is almost 1/3 of the games finishing in the draw, so that's a good pace, but I'm sure it's not gonna keep up for long.
Yeah, you never know how long it goes. It's a bit like a winning streak of some of these teams. It will end up when you don't expect that to happen. But these road underdogs that we discussed yesterday, out of 5 that we highlighted, only Winnipeg were able to win in Toronto, but all the others were not matching the home teams. So do you think even these kind of weekly games, home favorites, front of their handful of fans are the ones that can win the games, or does it make any difference during this time?
I don't know if it makes a lot of difference, but like we saw in these games, a couple of them ended in the overtime or in the shootout. So when you get these massive odds and then you end up in the shootout, even if the better team or the favorite is, of course, still the favorite, it's a much more of a coin flip. So we will keep on putting up these heavy underdogs if the simulations indicate that they should have a better chance, because in the long run it will provide some profits as well. This time, of course, it was a bad beat otherwise than the Winnipeg Jets, who did win in regulation, by the way, and that was not a coin flip game like 3 of the others were.
Yeah, and Dallas is well known for their momentum team. It looks like they have found now some stride after struggling a bit. They outshoot Chicago 37-22 and took a convincing 6-1 victory here.
Yeah, that was a bad game from Chicago. They did allow Dallas to control the entire length of the game, and that's something that Chicago can't do. They need to break up the plays, and a team like Dallas They do have a decent offense, not the best offensively, but they play quite solid from the defense. They have offensive defensemen, so that definitely hurt Chicago in this game. Chicago could not stop the flow of the game that they should, especially when they're playing on the road, maybe as quite a heavy underdog. So Chicago will learn from this lesson for sure and get a little bit better against the likes of Dallas.
Yeah, they need to do if they want to keep up with the playoff hopes in this very tight Central Division. And when Dallas is getting momentum, I think they have maybe some chances to push for the playoffs as well before the season ends.
Yeah, that will be also a very tight fight for the last playoff places. There are probably a couple of teams ahead of them, but Dallas's and Chicago will definitely be in the mix for the fourth and final playoff spot in that division.
Yeah, I think, like we said, Florida is playing very well. Carolina is doing also solid, and Tampa Bay, the best team currently in the division. So fourth spot is open, and let's see if Chicago have enough to grab it. Then if we go to tonight's game, we have a few picks. There's some, let's say, similar games that we had 2 nights ago. Kings continued their, let's say, across town rivalry against Anaheim. They lost the last one 6-5 after shootout or overtime 2 days ago. Now they are favorite in our books as well as bookmakers' odds. Kings should bounce back. They have been playing better than Anaheim, and there's not too much difference road or home because they are playing in same city. And then Minnesota hosts another game in St. Paul against Vegas. Last time Minnesota won 2-0. The last one was empty netter. And this time we also think that the defenses and goaltenders in both teams will stand up like they did last time, and it will be under 5.5 goals.
Yeah, we're taking a little bit of a different approach here because this is the Western Division that we have been pretty bad in predicting. So let's see how it goes this time. Of course, Kings and Anaheim, both of the teams that were regarded in the pretty much at the bottom of the Western Division, they've done well in certain games and then collapsed in some others. They're pretty streaky, both of the teams. We were not expecting either of these teams to score a lot of goals, but they have done so lately. So it's an interesting matchup altogether. It was Anaheim who took the spoils last game, so now we think that it is time for the Kings to bounce back. They were, especially in some parts of the game, quite a lot better than Anaheim. They created a lot of chances. Now if they can keep on scoring with that sort of efficiency as they have lately, they should be able to win this. And it's a nice value there. The simulations indicate about 60% for the Kings, while the odds were somewhere around 53%, minus 120. So it's a good selection. It's a road game, but not so far away. So I think it's quite familiar setup for the Los Angeles Kings as well. And then going to Minnesota, I think they are playing the playoffs already, especially with Vegas. Last game was a really tight affair. Basically could have gone 0-0. It was a 1-goal game and then the empty netter, so 2-0 for Minnesota. I think that's where they're gonna lift off and play the similar way, not allowing Vegas grade A goal scoring chances. Vegas has had some issues in scoring, definitely now. Minnesota knows how to stop them. It is up for Vegas to find ways to break the defense of Minnesota. But of course, Vegas, one of the better defensive teams in the league. Goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury probably starting, has played probably the best season so far in his career at this age. So like I've said, hats off to the old boy there. And if Minnesota is playing Kaapo Kähkönen, who is now found his stride, so I think it's going to be a goaltender battle as well. Both goalies really good.
Yeah, and like we had 2 nights ago, Minnesota is value pick here for the winner, and Same applies for repetition of Montreal at Vancouver, so home teams, home underdogs for the bookmakers, but home favorites in our simulations, both of these teams. So do you think it would be worth to bet both under and home team victory?
I think not a lot has changed from the last time. That's why the simulations do indicate quite a similar score is likely. But according to the simulations, which I trust 100%, so of course, yes, this is the way we go. But of course, it is like if Vegas has learned their lesson, if Montreal has learned their lesson from the last game, it can be turned upside down, as we've seen many times this season when you have head-to-heads in this, not back-to-back, but one day between. There is more time to practice, more time to react how the opponent has been playing, and probably watch a lot of video of how to play these opponents. So maybe a little bit careful when selecting the same winners for the second time in a row.
Then there are two big home favorites which have also some minor value in simulations. So Edmonton plays against Ottawa, and Colorado hosts Arizona. And 2 nights ago, Edmonton was able to win 3-2, while Arizona took a surprising victory in Denver against Colorado, same numbers, 3-2. So do you think home team stand is stronger this time than it was a few nights ago?
I do think at least that Colorado should do better. They have been underwhelming as of late. That loss to Arizona was a good example of that. They didn't play as well as they can, and this is a sort of a bounce back game for sure for Colorado. The simulations do indicate Colorado as 74% favorites, while the odds are around 65. So there is quite a big value for heavy home favorites here. Of course, Arizona is always ready to surprise. They have already beaten most of the teams that they played against, so never count them out. But in this case, I think that Colorado are due a victory, and they should be able to score quite a bit of goals as well in this game. Then Edmonton, of course, is a up and down team as well. If they are not able to score, they will lose the game. So it was a very close one last time against Ottawa. Possibly now Edmonton a little bit got their offense going in the last game in the end. So I hope that they will be able to score more goals than that 3 against Ottawa last time.
Yeah, it was a bit surprising Colorado's game that Arizona shot only 14 times and were able to score 3 times. So not a great night for the goalie, not a great night for the defense in overall, but if Colorado can score like they used to score more than 3 goals, that is acceptable. But of course, it puts quite a bit of pressure to the offense of Colorado, especially when some of their top guys are maybe out of the game tonight as well.
Yeah, in that case, I am 100% sure that they did watch a lot of video, because that is how Arizona is playing. When they get the turnover, they will turn the game really fast. They were able to pin down the Colorado defense in a bad position. So that's something that if a team shoots only 14 times and manages to score more goals than you do, then you're in trouble. So Colorado does have to take care of the puck, not lose it in critical positions, and also score from their own chances in order to win this game.
And Colorado has been dominating quite handily, especially at home, these matches against Arizona. During the last 3 seasons, they played 12 games, and Colorado has won 75% of those, so 9 games. And then home, they've lost only 1, so 14.3% win percentage for Arizona on the road. So it's quite clear that Colorado has been better team and should win these games very easily.
Yeah, that is why the simulations do indicate them as 75% favorite. So it's a heavy number. Not sure if I have seen a higher one this season yet.
Let's see how the Colorado performs at home, as well as then these other games. It would be interesting evening again with NHL hockey, and we'll be back tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.